The difference between winning the OK Gold Championship and finishing second in 2020 was an extra point, a kick from the 10-yard line. Very small. South Christian has been waiting since October 23rd to get another shot at Grand Rapids Catholic Central, and that chance came tonight in the game of the week. Both teams getting a little healthier coming in. Sailors 2-1. Cougars with their first Friday night home game of the year. Impressive drive in the first quarter for the Sailors, but on fourth down, it's Brady Redmer with the sack. Catholic Central takes over. Joey Silveri had hit Nate Van Timmeren on fourth down to keep the next drive alive, and then hits Van Timmeren for a 13-yard score. 7-0 Cougars in the second quarter. Silveri would go down with an injury later in the second and not return. Third quarter still 7-0. Ronan Russell Dixon 12 yards up the middle, muscling his way in. 14-0 Catholic Central at that point, and then John Passanal in at quarterback and looking for Nolan Ziegler, one-hand grab all the way down to the 25-yard line. That sets up Passanal from 4 yards out. 21-0 Cougars, and they would tack on one more in the fourth quarter. Passanal looking for Devin Fridley Bell, 16 yards in the end zone. Grand Rapids Catholic Central is 2-0 in the OK Gold, 4-0 overall, 28-6 over South Christian. Not pictured, Jack Rellinger had a really nice game, over 100 yards on the ground. Nolan Ziegler good on both sides of the football. Really though, the Grand Rapids Catholic Central defense led by Jack Cook with 13 tackles. They hold South Christian to under 200 yards of total offense and just 59 on the ground as we bring in Brett Bakita, who called the game on 96.1 The Game. Brett, an impressive win for Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Clearly the story is Joey Silveri going down with the injury. We don't know what that'll mean going forward. He did not return in the second quarter. Guy stepped up, and it was 7-0 when that happened.
I think there's so many storylines that don't necessarily get reflected in this box score. What I mean by that is South Christian did what we talked about, remember, in our hits in the news to start this game. What do you have to do? You've got to survive the first quarter. They did. It was 0-0. Then Catholic Central does score in the second quarter, 7-0. But I felt that South Christian was moving the football. I thought that DeHaan was patient. He wasn't rushing like we talked about. We had that 3-interception game with East Grand Rapids. And South Christian was doing some nice things, and they were playing this football game. Now, Joey Silveri goes down the second quarter. You know that going into halftime. You have to kind of rely on everybody else. And didn't Catholic Central do that? I mean, started with John Passanal. He has to come in, play quarterback, and it's not like they just hand it off all the time. Rellinger was effective, but you saw there, throwing touchdowns, doing what they needed to do, and then that defense and the offensive line took over. Do you realize they made it a short field game in the second half? You can't do that with a team like Catholic Central, and that was the difference, and eventually they broke the will of South Christian. I mean, I think they started every possession till maybe the end. Their starting field position in the second half for Catholic Central was on South Christian's side of the 50, and that was set up with special teams, that was set up with penalties, and set up with that Catholic Central defense.
And when we talked to the Cougar players after the game, clearly the subject is losing Joey Silveri.
I mean, it's a huge loss as our starting quarterback, but John stepped right in. I mean, that's what we do in practice every day. He was ready and prepared, and we finished the game, so it was great.
It's kind of surreal. Like, I've been preparing, but I have the best quarterback in the state in front of me, so realistically, like, I have to be ready to go in, but having the best quarterback in the state, it's going to be tough to get some reps, but sucks that he went down. I feel so sorry for Joey. I hope he comes back soon, but I had to step up, and I was ready.
I thought your offensive line really did a job for you guys when you needed to run the football. Did you see that, and how big is that coming from a pretty young group?
Yeah, no, it was great, and we feel really confident in the group. But you mentioned it, we're young. I mean, we got 3 sophomores in there slugging it out. You know, a junior tight end slugging it out. So it was just those guys are getting better and better and better every day, and they even get better within the game. And they got better within the game. You know, Will Smith coming back, senior coming back off an injury. This is his first work all year. He really helped us, made a difference. He brings a physical mindset, and that helps. And he brings communication up front. And Jack Krajewski, another senior up there, you know. So it was great to see the young guys and the old guys bring them along.
That was a huge part of this game. If there was a question mark for Grand Rapids Catholic Central coming into the year, it was going to be the offensive line because they were going to play 3 sophomores. And that group was really good tonight, and they had to be.
Well, we talked about South Christian the first time since the first quarter of the first game. They would have their offensive line back, and they would need it against this Catholic Central defense.
Yep.
And they saw some good things. You saw Catholic Central's offensive line dominate in the second half. Coach Colster, he loves offensive line play. He had to be happy with those sophomores. And then I want to go back to what you just saw there. 2 of the players we talked to, seniors. Jack Rellinger, senior. What happens when adversity faces a team, a 2-time state championship team? Seniors are asked to step up and then lead. and they did, and they got him from so many. They got so many great seniors for the Cougars to rely upon no matter what happens with Joey here. Obviously, we hope the best, but moving forward.
And it's nice to have a John Passanal to put under center.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, did he look like a backup quarterback?
No,
to you?
not at all.
He's a great athlete.
Well,